That is your savior when your power's out. Let's talk about that. So let's talk about what every house needs. What every house in the city needs, what every house in the country needs in a power outage. For those of you that know me personally, are my Facebook friends or people in my town, or if you've talked to me in live chats in other homesteading channels, you know that we have had storm after storm after rain and rain and rain since March. We are in central west Missouri, and it has been absolute craziness. So, here is my story for the day. We had last week, we had several storms. And our power kept blinking out. We're going completely out. And there was one night that I sent a message to my children, my adult children that live out of state, and I said, hey, we may lose our power, I'll get back to you. When you say you're losing your power, sometimes you go, oh, tornado, oh, bad weather, oh, it's not good. It just kind of hits in, it kind of gets you, and you think, it's an F5. People just panic, they're just like, Arr. So my youngest daughter was very upset. Hashtag not convinced that when our power was out, she could get a hold of us. And it made me really think about something. Really think about it. What did we really need if we lost power? What do we need? What's the basic first thing that we're going to need to be able to do if we lose power for 2 days? No cell phone service, no internet, no nothing. What do I need to have other than if I have a generator, which I really should have, but other than a generator, what would be a way for me to contact the outside world and contact her if we lost our power for a significant amount of time, which we did. So I'm so silly. I can't believe I didn't think of this before. There's a difference between a digital phone and an analog phone. A digital phone is what most of us use these days. It has LED screen, not LED screen, you know what I mean. Digital phone, electronic phone. Analog phones are for us old timers, where you had to turn the dial or push the button, or it was plugged straight into the wall, or you had to carry this 50-foot cord around with you to talk on the phone, or you're laying upside down with a princess phone on your ear up against the wall because you have to stay there. You have to sit where the phone is if you didn't have a long enough cord around in the house. And people younger than me, you may have seen this in a movie if you don't already know this, but there were a couple of movies where the saving grace was the fact that power going into phones is different than the electrical power for your lights, your TVs, everything like that. So you could use a payphone because it draws its source directly from the phone line to make a phone call, even if the power was out. I put a message out on Facebook to my friends, and I said, hey, does anybody have a phone like this? And I put a picture in there. And one of my friends in town did have one. She used to have a little store here, and she had one. So she brought me over this old AT&T analog push button phone. The power did go out that Friday, and I was actually on the phone with my husband. He was at work, and I immediately plugged that little analog phone in with the power out, and he was able to call me back. So, now that's with a landline. So 2 things you need to have anywhere you live. Whether you live in LA, if you live in New York, cell phones may not always be your savior. For us, we got an analog phone. We have a home phone line because where I live, in order to have internet, you have to have a home phone line. You can't not have a home phone line. You can't get internet otherwise. Not sure why, but could just be because it's a co-op. But we have a home phone, which we hadn't had in the city before, but honestly, if I moved back, I would have one now. It's something to think about. You know, there are those little things, and I think that's part of what my channel is going to be, is what are the things you don't think of? What are the things that are basic knowledge, information that everyone else in the homesteading community or the prepping community, that type of thing, would automatically go, oh yeah, sure, we have that. Or, oh yeah, we know what that is. Well, I didn't think of it. I've lived here 4 years. I didn't think of it until she was upset and couldn't get a hold of me. You know, hashtag not convinced. So, now she can get a hold of me if we have a storm. She should be able to call, and we would be able to call unless something is really wrong. So that was awesome. You should always have a home phone. You can't always trust that cell towers will be up in an emergency. They're not that expensive to add to your service. Most of the time, if you have a cable service or you have a internet service, you can add a home phone or a landline very cheaply. And it does, you know, it gives you a certain sense of security, and you should have one. And I never thought that before until I moved out here. You know, if there's rain and flooding and stuff, there's one road in and one road out. And, you know, it's the highway, and if for some reason there are trees blocking it, you know, you're not going to get out. You can't. I just get to drive over it with a Humme or something. Anyway, so when our power is out, our power is out. We don't have internet. We don't have cell phone service. We don't have anything. Rowdy chicken. Rowdy, go home. Hold on, I'll show you just a little tidbit of this rowdy chicken. She wants to come over here with my chickens, but she will teach my chickens to jump the fence. And I don't like that. And sometimes she'll just stop for me. But you know what? She's going to make me chase her around this pen. This is why I call the Orpingtons Rowdies, is this chicken right here. No, you need to go to your house. Come on, let's go. 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 Now, if I was fast enough, I could just catch her right there. She's hopping at me. Please ignore my yard. Get in there. So, my story for the day is I got a new analog phone. Pretty happy about that. My youngest daughter's pretty happy about that. She doesn't like me living out this far. Something really bad happened. They bring a helicopter in. So she's not real thrilled about that. I wanted to share this with you guys because I do think it's important to have a home phone. I do think it's important to have an analog phone as an emergency phone. So go to a garage sale, go to a thrift store. This is one of those things to add to your list if you watch all my videos. Add this to your list, but do it now. The next time your power goes out, plug it in the wall and see if it works. In most places it should. I can't see unless they've changed the way they build, which I don't know, and I'd love to hear that if you know in the comments. Are they building now where the power lines are powered by the electric, or are they building where it still has its own separate power source, or does it depend on the company? Because here, it definitely has its own power source. What harm is it going to do for you to spend $5 on an old analog phone and put it as an emergency item? I hope that you go out and get one, honestly, because it wasn't something that I really thought about. I didn't think about, should I have? It just wasn't a thought until she was upset. It wasn't a thought that we just figured, oh, well, power will come back on, right? Well, in the winter, we had trees covered in ice. What if we didn't have a generator and the power went out for 3 days and we were stuck? with ice on the roads, with snow everywhere. If you saw my first video, there was snow everywhere. There was ice in the trees. And we were lucky enough that we didn't lose power. But what if we did? Because we definitely don't have cell service out here. When we use Facebook Messenger, that goes through internet. So, get you an analog phone. I know I'm bossy, aren't I? Get you an analog phone. And put it in your closet for emergencies. In your bug-out bag. Or some kind of bag. But get one. Have a fabulous day. Find the beauty in your day every day. It's always there. Even if it's cloudy. All the time. Cloudy. Have a good day. So, my youngest daughter, who was actually in one of those larger tomatoes, cars. Lots of cars. That's okay, because I live on the main highway. That's what happens when you scratch your ears too much and bite your feet too much. You go in the cone of shame. Cone of shame.